Is it just Caleb and I?
Yeah, for right now, we're going to talk for a few minutes. Welcome everybody. We're here for Black Founders Program demo day for Cohort 5, and I got two of the judges here. And there's Adrian. I see him down there. Hey, Adrian, how are you?
Hey, what's going on, Lloyd?
All right, glad to have you guys back. And Randy, he's having a little technical difficulties. Hopefully, he'll be able to pop on his phone. So you all good to go on your scoring sheets and everything?
Yeah, yes, sir. We know the drill.
Okay, fantastic. I guess you all been here before. Yes, we're excited to be doing this Black Founders Program. And there's Randy. Hey, Randy, how are you?
Good. I entered from my phone, so I hope that helps. My computer just won't do it.
Yes, and you can use your computer for the scoring, and that would be good. So glad you were able to figure out an alternative there. Yeah, so why don't you all starting with you, Ira? Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Good evening. My name is Ira Bates. I am the Community Development Officer for Renasant Bank, which I handle the Alabama, the Florida Panhandle region. I'm glad to be here. Thank you, Lloyd.
Yes, and one of our sponsors too. Glad to see you here.
Yes, sir.
Yep, I guess I'll go next. Good evening, Caleb Williams. Like Ira, I'm a former banker. I'm a former Citibank Global Director, turned entrepreneur. My company is developing a botanical ingredient called P.I.E. That's literally transforming health, wellness, skincare, and accelerating human performance recovery. Happy to be here.
Fantastic. Randy?
Yeah, appreciate that, Lloyd. My name's Randy Gerson. I'm a marketing and sales executive, been in the startup community for 20 plus years, probably helped over 1,000 companies in the startup ecosystem in San Diego, LA, and Orange County over the last 20 years. I've had 2 successful exits in the wellness space. So Caleb, funny you mentioned that, so I can talk to you a lot about that space and the challenges and opportunities in that space.
Brilliant. Look forward to it, Randy.
All right, sounds good. Adrian?
Save the best for last, Lloyd. I know that. Yeah. What's going on, everybody? My name is Adrian. First and foremost, I'm a founder of a startup called Tap In, where we use AI to help people network smarter and more efficiently. And I'm also the founder of 30 Days of Product, where I work with from idea stage right up until Series A founders and startups with anything from product development, product strategy, and execution. So I'm excited to see some of the cool products here today.
Oh, that sounds really great. Glad to have you all here. Well, the founders have been going through our 30-day business model design class, where they've been stress testing their business models, and today they're doing their what's called a business model story pitch, and it's supposed to be able to communicate what they're doing clearly and concisely, and so they can get the help they need to move forward. So with our program, we're just trying to get people ready at the top of the funnel, so because there are a lot of programs out there, and there are a lot of offerings for founders that founders don't have to pay for. But in order to unlock those opportunities, they have to be able to pitch their business model clearly and concisely. So that's what they've been working on. And so we're glad to have you all here to give them some feedback on their progress. We got two of the founders. One founder has launched, and she'll be last, and then a couple of the founders are kind of like in the launch phase, and then we got one founder that's just starting out, and so there'll be a nice variety of pitches there for you all in different industries. So that's a good thing. Got a little variety here. So I want to make sure you all know if they don't cover something, or if they run out of time, that you all be sure and ask them about that, just so we can give them a chance to articulate what they're trying to do. We look forward to everything. So Lloyd Jr., you got anything you want to share before we get going here?
Well, first off, welcome, judges. Thank you all for being here today. I appreciate you. Some of you have seen me many times before, and some of you, this is the first time. Welcome, Randy. And so one of the things I would like to say is that each founder has 3 minutes to pitch. Judges, you have 5 minutes of question and answer with them. And after that, then we will go into the judges' deliberation. During that time, we encourage our audience members to stay online while I have a brief interview with our founders about their experience during Cohort 5. We're so grateful to partner with Florida Power and Light to make this event possible. And so we want to personally highlight them. And we'll have a few more announcements as we go along because there's more cohorts to come afterwards. But I'm so excited for these founders, and I'm excited to see you all again and partner with you all.
Yeah, Lord Junior, you're exactly right. So we got another cohort 6 is the applications are open for that right now. So if you're a founder out there, go ahead and fill out the application to get in the class. It's starting, I think around the 8th or something next month. It's starting pretty soon from now. So, and then once we finish that cohort in early September, we're going to be starting the 90-day program where we teach the founders how to sell what they're building. And so we got quite a few slots for that. So we want to make sure people take the 30-day class so they can be ready for the 90-day class. So 3 of the founders here tonight are going to be walking away with a $1,000 prize. And then we got to have another demo day like this on the September 11th, where we're going to be awarding 3 more founders a $1,000 prize. And then at the end of the 90-day program in December, we'll be awarding $5,000 in prizes. So it's a good opportunity for founders that are just getting started or existing founders to kind of hone in on their craft, to get in a position to take advantage of some more opportunities that are out there. Judges, you all got any last minute stuff you all want to say before we get started? You're good? All righty. All right, Lloyd Jr., it's all your show.
Okay, I'm going to remove our judges from the floor, and then we will move forward with our first founder. Thank you. So to get started, we are going to have our first founder. I just wanted to say before actually we get started that the Cohort 6 starts August 12th. So you have a little bit of time if you do want to sign up to be a part of the Florida Black Founder Program. You have August 12th is the first workshop, and that's a Tuesday. All right, that being said, I think we're about ready to get started with our founders. Our first founder is Marquita Tyson with GOPOKOLOKO. GOPOKOLOKO. All right. Welcome, Marquita. How are you?
I am all right. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you wonderfully.
Okay.
Wonderfully. Your time starts now.
Blessings. I'm Marquita Tyson. I am the founder of GOPOKOLOKO, your premier event booking platform. I've been on every side of the event world, from performing as a music artist to hosting to working as a photographer chasing down clients who'd go ghost me. That's why I created GOPOKOLOKO, an app built specifically for event vendors like DJs, cooks, decorators, and venue owners. Our motto now is we don't chase, we replace. After COVID, everything shifted. People stayed inside. The internet became the main way to do business. But most event vendors are still stuck using flyers, word of mouth, and Instagram DMs. So GOPOKOLOKO brings in all into one modern platform, so you can be seen, be booked, and get paid without begging for visibility. So what's at stake? If we do nothing, small businesses stay invisible. Skilled vendors lose income, clients waste time, and risk bad hires. If we act now, local talent gets seen and booked. Small businesses grow and thrive. Communities get stronger and more connected. The problem: vendors like DJs, cooks, and photographers are invisible. Clients waste time chasing people down. Flyers, DMs, and word of mouth aren't working. The industry needs a better way to connect. So what's the solution? GOPOKOLOKO. It's a mobile app made just for event vendors. All in one place to be found, booked, and verified. Clients get trusted talent fast. Vendors get visibility, tools, and bookings. So what is our unfair advantage? We're built for the culture by someone who lived it. Focus only on event vendors, backed up by real community, trusted, and in-person boarding. We don't chase, we replace. So our revenue models are for event organizers. They're free. They're eligible to get on and book the vendors that they would like to have at their events, no cost. When we officially launch, it'll be 6 months free for vendors to get in and gain some clientele on the mobile app. And then after the 6-month trial, it will be $99 annually or $19.99 a month. So here are some of the key metrics. And for our rollout plan, we already have soft launched, and now we're just gaining some people to get on. We're still right now in the process of fixing the bugs.
All righty. Thank you so much. Great job on your pitch. Marquita, I'll have the judges come on up. Wave your hands if you're ready, judges. Okay. It's Caleb and Randy.
Yep. So, Marquita, thank you for the presentation. It was really enlightening and it's fascinating because I'm involved in doing some events, and I always have difficulty finding vendors. So I like what you're doing. The one question that I have has to do with kind of your revenue model. I believe it's free for the vendors. I'm sorry.
For the event organizers.
Free for the organizer, and then it's 6 months that you're doing free for the vendors. Is that correct? And then you start a subscription model. And so during that period, how are you sustaining your business during that ramp up? Because you've got one group that's free, and effectively you've got two groups that's free for about 6 months. How are you able to sustain during that period?
So we won't have revenue coming in from the individuals, but we do have ad mobs in the mobile app. So we'll be getting revenue from the ads.
Okay. All right. So, and I didn't hear that, but I think that would be an important data point to add into your presentation.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
This is Randy. How you doing?
Hello. How you doing?
Hi. Good. A couple things. Just on what Caleb said, to add one thing to it. If you're depending on ad revenue in the beginning, have you calculated how many free members you need to actually generate revenue for ads?
I have not.
So that might be something you might want to calculate in there, because until you get enough inertia of population, even if it's free, to advertise, you need to have, like price per thousand, how many eyeballs you're getting in front of to actually generate revenue from ads, especially on a new app. You might want to take a peek at that and where that might start for you. Just to add on to the last comment. And then how do you compete with companies like Gig Salad?
I feel like we have a different approach because this is only for the event entertainment industry. So I don't know everything that Gig Salad have, but this is specifically for events and entertainment. So I don't know if they different from.
Yeah, so I would take a look at them. They actually do a lot of the things that you mentioned.
Okay.
So I'm trying to see what the differentiator would be between a well-established platform that's already out there that has a lot of members versus a startup, and how you would go head to head with a company like that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Hello. I think, Era, did you want to go first?
Go ahead, Adrian. We have about 2 minutes.
Okay, sure. So you mentioned that you're mobile first, right? The product's mobile first. Is there any reason why you picked mobile first over going and building like a web app?
So at first it was supposed to be a web app, and then everything that I added on to it, they said it was going to be too much for the web application. So we shifted to a mobile app.
Okay. One thing I would say, you need to consider the user journey. Most people are going to search on Google for vendors, right? So it's really important that your product and your vendors are indexed on Google, and that's a logical path for someone to download or at least sign into your product. And then you can introduce the mobile app afterwards. If you're going from, web straight to mobile, that's a big jump. And a lot of people don't take that leap if they're just searching for something, right? So just keep that in mind.
Okay, thank you.
I had a couple questions. One, tell us the story. How did you come up with the name?
So I actually don't know. It just came up. I thought like Go Puff, Go Google, the names is something about the go. So
Okay.
it's something that drove me, and it actually it stands for God ordained purpose, overcome kindness with oneness, love and obedience, keep opportunities. So it just thrived from like my life lessons, and I feel like God had places on my heart to make this opportunity for everybody that are struggling in the same situation that I was in.
Gotcha. Okay. So let me ask you this. What happens, what's the alternative to this? If I don't have this, to go to book and to, so what are the other alternatives out there that I would turn to?
I see they said like thumbnail drive, something like that.
I know y'all are answering these questions so well, but I got it coming, but I apologize. All right. Thank you so much, Marquita. A wonderful presentation. We are going to move on to our next one. Thank you, Mr. Ira Bates. I appreciate it. I interrupt with only love and light. All right. Thank you all. Our next founder is Joseph Harrison with Agri-Market Tracker. Welcome, Joseph. How are you doing today?
Fantastic, and thank you all for having me. Thank you, gentlemen, for being great judges.
Oh, no, absolutely. Your time starts now.
Hello, I'm Joseph Harrison, and my company is Urban AgWorks, and the product that we have is the Agri-Market Tracker. I'm making the Agri-Market Tracker because every year farmers and produce vendors lose billions because they don't have real-time access to market data. And with AI, we're fixing all of that. Why now? Because AI unlocks the data and it makes it more accessible. There's also global food insecurity problems, and we just went through COVID where there were food shortage and climate change. So data is very important, and there's momentum from government and industry to back AI-driven public and private data solutions. What's at stake? The cost of inadequate market data. This is a $1.2 trillion produce industry, and it's flying blind. Without clear, real-time price discovery, the market stumbles into avoidable loss. Mispricing runs rampant, and incomplete data leads to pricing guesswork, not strategy. Billions vanish in logistic black holes, gaps between supply and demand and delivery, and post-harvest waste piles up. Perishable goods rot sometimes while insights lag behind. Okay, now what's broken? The USDA and other market reports are valuable. They're great, but they're difficult to read, slow to access, and not customized for specific needs. So you can see that here. This is an example of the market news report. The data is also fragmented. There's limited access in certain areas, and there are also global gaps. Everyone around the world needs good data, market data to conduct their business. Solution: centralized, real-time, and forward-looking ag data all under one roof. We're going to have wholesale terminal markets, growing areas like in California and Plant City, Florida. We'll have volume data, which is supply data, truck prices, retail prices, and local farmers market and auction data. And they're all available. Our unfair advantage. This is something I've been working on for 38 years. I've been doing this most of my life. The market, the information is accurate and it's reliable. And we're the first mover in this. We're first mover advantage and proprietary software. Here's the simple marketing plan: $10, $25, and $100. That's what we're going to have subscriptions. And I love this because I did the calculations just off of $25, not the $100 plan. And we only need 3,333 customers to make $100,000. And for 33,333,000.
Wonderful job, Joseph. Wonderful job. I think your slides were not exactly working because we see the same thing here, but you were speaking very well. So I think you did a great job. I'm going to ask the judges to wave your hands when you're ready for question and answers.
Really?
Okay, Randy.
Hey, Joseph, how you doing?
I'm devastated, Randy.
That's okay. Hey, we've all done it. I've done it more than once. So, but anyway, it was good to hear what you had to say. So, when you mentioned, you said everyone. Who's everyone? Who's your audience? Like, what's your defined audience that you have? Because I didn't hear that mentioned. I just heard everyone.
So my audience is people in the produce business, whether California growers, wholesale folks in Chicago who buy and sell produce, farmers markets, and farmers alike, folks who deliver to restaurants, that sort of thing.
So you have several different markets. Have you defined the audience and the size and scope of each of those markets and how you would penetrate each one of those?
Okay, the first one we're going to go through people who shop at wholesale markets. So we're going to we're going to focus on Philadelphia, Chicago, and New York. So those are the customers who shop at these markets. So they might deliver to your local restaurants. They'll buy there, deliver to local restaurants, or they'll or small groceries, independent chains. So that's going to be our first market that we're going to focus on. Then we can graduate to say a company, let's say like Lippman Produce, and so they sell to Chipotle, they sell to Trader Joe's, they sell to Walmart. So they'll need a more robust system where they can possibly do price predictions and that sort of thing. They do price predictions for bids to sell to like a Walmart, because Walmart can't just come and buy a box of tomatoes. Like, we need a box of tomatoes. They may need 32 loads of tomatoes. They need thousands of tomatoes, and you can't wait to the last minute. So that's contracted, say maybe in November for it's worked on now for say like November. So the tools will be there for that as well.
One suggestion, I would identify your markets precisely, especially the first one that you want to go after that you mentioned, independent markets. List how many in a very tight geographical area you're going to go after, what that number is, and then precisely how you're going to go after those to win, to build your traction.
Yes, sir.
That's what I would suggest. It sounds really interesting. I don't know a lot about that particular market, but it sounds like you understand your markets. You need to define them a little better and how you're going to go to get those subscriptions.
Thank you. Yeah, that's I appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries. That's it for me.
Hi, Joseph. Caleb here. I'm going to piggyback a little bit on what Randy said, really around defining your customer. And it could be because we couldn't see the slides, but it wasn't clear for me, who exactly the customer was and who, the client and the connection between those two. And again, I think it has to do with the fact that, your slides weren't available. What kind of comes to mind to me? I've got a buddy who worked for, I think a similar organization as what you did for the last 30 or so years. And he found that he was working in the egg space. And there was a lot of farms, like egg farms, that were throwing away discolored eggs. And he found a niche, started a business, and he's doing well over $1 million annually. So that's kind of what I was thinking as I was listening, but it wasn't really clear for me where the opportunity truly is the client, the target, and the opportunity.
Similar to your friend, he's in the egg business. This would be like the produce business. So the people who buy and sell produce, there could be waste. There is waste. I know that I see the waste. There's also opportunities to develop a product going forward for local farmers markets and produce auctions. They have no the centralized data source. Just like your friend has the volume of eggs, he knows how many they have.
Yes.
The information is there. It's not organized. It's not easy to organize and access. So your friend understood the egg business, and he understood what was available. So what we're doing is taking that information and making it accessible for people who are in the produce business per se, similar to what your friend's doing and the egg business. So he knows there are eggs that are rotten. He knows that there's an oversupply, and he found a niche for them.
Yes. Okay. All right. Okay.
So we're just providing market data, market information, so people can make better decisions, make it easier.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Unfortunately, Adrian, we have run out of time for the question and answer, but I appreciate you all being on here. We're going to move on to our next founder. Thank you, Joseph. Wonderful job on your presentation.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely. Our next founder is Lenicha Bell with Compassion Compass. Hi, Lenicha. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. How's everyone doing? Thanks for having me.
Wonderful. Your volume's a little low, so if you can be a little closer to the mic, that would be helpful. Okay?
Does this help a little bit?
Yeah, that's better. That's whatever you did.
Just need to project.
Your time starts now.
All right. So, hi, I and my brother, we have and are parental caregivers who've experienced burnout. And I mean, we've all known or have known someone who is or has cared for someone and they've experienced burnout. And so it makes you think, who cares for the caregiver? You know, there is respite care, but then what about that mental and emotional toll of caregiving? So I asked our brother's oldest, Honor, who is studying to become a social worker, if there is such a thing as a social worker for the social worker, you know, basically a professional caregiver for them. Honor pointed out the real problem wasn't having someone care for them. It was actually not realizing that they've been hit with compassion fatigue until it was too late. And that's what started us down the rabbit hole to Compassion Compass, a way to catch that before it catches you. Now, a prime example of how burnout can creep up is by looking at how fast public health workers and community caregivers are burning out since the pandemic. Social workers are quitting, and 70% are citing compassion fatigue as the reason. And the cost is staggering. We're losing $35 billion annually to turnover and disrupted care. Well, hundreds of thousands of social workers and public health workers and millions of community caregivers are burning out. This means that we're facing a crisis that no one is actually solving at the root. Because when I actually started researching this online and what was out there, I saw Honor was right. There's no early warning system that actually speaks the language and understands the stigmas associated with being a caregiver. So enter Compassion Compass and our unique compassion receipts concept. Think of it as turning emotional labor into data points. Daily tap check-ins will power our AI to detect stress patterns. Then it'll send timely nudges before they hit a wall. It'll be trauma-informed and privacy first. And our competitive moat will hold this market by bringing the first movers in predictive burnout technology, targeting the care culture. Plus, as our community grows, our AI gets smarter at recognizing the subtle patterns of compassion fatigue. Now, to help attract and grow that community, our revenue model begins as DTC, tiered pricing, where we're going to average about $144 per year per customer. And we'll also generate revenue through anonymized data insights and B2B offerings like workshops. And then to get this average per customer, our primary metrics to watch will be referral rate and retention. We want to maintain retention above 80%, and for our referral rate to jump at year 2, then that's to reflect the trust we'll grow in the community. Now, to get there, the phases of our rollout strategy focuses on building relationships and not expensive marketing. We're going to start with deep user testing, then launching with the AI after 12 months, so that by year 2, we are building partnerships with professional associations and starting to receive requests for enterprise licensing. Now, our validation first approach that, our current team consists of a data engineer and IT professional with 30 plus years experience, my sister, a workplace culture success advocate, myself with 7+ years experience, a National Association of Social Workers awarded student, mentioned earlier, and access to diverse wellness advisory.
Wonderful job. I appreciate it. I hate when I have to interrupt. You're speaking so well. All right, judges, if you all are ready for the Q&A, we'll get our time started. Okay, Caleb?
Fantastic presentation, by the way. Really love this. What is the, I know you didn't get to the ask. Could you tell us about the ask, please?
Yeah, so we know what we need. We need basically to finish our team. And so we're looking for $150,000 to get the team going, improve our traction. But we're also open to any type of mentorship or anything for anyone who's interested in seeing this succeed. So, you know.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Nice presentation, by the way. I appreciate it as well. Share with me, it sounds like you're going after social workers to start with. That's the first customers. Is that correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so how do you expect social workers who are on very minimal wages to pay for an app on top of, because I've been actually in the home care industry on the franchise side of the business. Like, Visiting Angels and companies like that are national franchises, and talk to a lot of caregivers. And I agree, they do a lot of burnout going on. So I agree with the problem. I'm just trying to figure out how your solution will help a group that makes even less than they do.
Yeah, so I was actually looking into possibly trying to do a sliding scale model with pricing based off of income verification. That's going to get kind of complicated. So there's going to be the tiers, as I said. So with the free and even the $9, I want it to be more robust than what would normally be on someone's, app. And then also I was thinking of in the future having things like if you are doing referrals, that pays for your subscription, or if you are helping out with a peer-to-peer group, back and forth, and that helps you, pay for the app and things like that.
By the way, I think it's a great concept. I think it's definitely needed in the industry, no question. So pretty savvy in you to recognize that. Have you done any dry testing yet with the concepts of how to nudge people along and to prevent burnout?
Not fully, no. That's why I'm looking to go ahead and get this started that way. But I do have one of my associates who is really into burnout culture. And so she's helping me understand like what type of questions or what to look for when looking at responses and things like that.
Cool. What I might suggest, you might want to try a dry test, proof of concept on a dry test, and then it might be easier to get that first $150,000 investment because you'll have some proof of concept.
Thank you.
Definitely there's problems. So you're attacking a huge problem in this country. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Really good pitch. Question about the pricing, and have you considered taking the angle? Right now you're B2C. Have you considered going straight B2B via insurance companies and get insurance companies to pay for this product as a perk?
I was actually looking at different models for it to be straight B2B. I didn't know if I could get it scaled that quickly because I wanted to, start small with the testing since I haven't started at all. And so, but that's definitely why I wanted to do the B2B eventually. However, I do definitely understand the insurance because working in, HR myself, I know when it comes to all the extras when the EAPs and your benefits, this type of thing is something that would help with the retention and everything. So,
yeah, I just think that revenue wise, I think you're going to have it'll be a longer sales cycle for sure, but I think you'd have way more success going B2B than B2C because it's a mobile app. Downloads is probably like $3 to $5 per download at this point. So you're going to spend a lot of money in acquisition. Those users might not convert. But if you go B2B, you can just get insurance companies to pay for this as a perk, and then you get paid out immediately, right? Irrespective of whether they use it or not. Obviously, you want them to use it for sure, but absolutely your revenue first, and you're making bigger deals versus going after the consumer. But great presentation. I would love to see your product design at some point. So please reach out on LinkedIn or something, and I'd love to take a look.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right.
Yeah, one other comment to add on to that. It's a great comment about B2B. That's why I mentioned a couple of the franchises. I just got out of working with a client in that space. And even though B2B may take longer, you only need one pilot program at one national franchise and you're off the ground and running.
Yeah, thank you
and
so
it's
much.
a lot higher conversion rate.
Yeah, thank you so much, Randy. Thank you so much, Lenicha. Wonderful presentation. We're going to move on to our final founder, and that is Miss Sabrina Simpson with P.I.E. Pi. All righty, Sabrina, are you there?
Can you hear me okay?
Hello, hello.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hello, Sabrina.
Hold on.
We cannot hear you talking if you are talking. Oh, wait, I just heard you sigh. Sabrina, are you there? Can you say something for us? Anyone else having trouble hearing her? Okay, yeah, we're having some issues here. I hear you typing, but I don't hear you speaking. Yeah, I see it.
I'll give her a quick call just to see what's going on.
Okay, yeah. So give us a few moments. We are going to go ahead and show a brief commercial to kind of get ourselves started and see if we can have her back up here momentarily.
So startups are a science, but they're also a bit of game theory, right? And oftentimes, what do people want to be a part of? They want to be a part of something that's moving around.
Did y'all hear me?
So at every step of the way, when you're talking...
Well, I mean, Lenicha, Adrian, and Gerson.
All righty. Sabrina? Yes, I can hear you now. Is that you?
I don't know. No. Me?
Oh, no, I don't hear it just yet. We'll go back to our thing. One moment, please.
So startups are a science, but they're also a bit of game theory, right? And oftentimes, what do people want to be a part of? They want to be a part of something that's moving around, right? So at every step of the way, when you're talking to somebody, co-founder, investor, ecosystem, checking in with Lloyd, it's got to seem like something's happening. There's got to be a beat to it, right? So even when you're pitching a co-founder, what you don't want to say is, oh my gosh, we've been frustrated, this app's not working, the last guy didn't really build it properly, and can you come help us? They're going to be like, oh, it's so great. Why don't you have a long line of engineers wanting to join this team? What you want to say is, I'm scheduled to pitch at Startup Grind. I'm scheduled to pitch at 1909. I'm doing the Lloyd Startups on the Block pitch competition soon. We're moving really fast right now. We're super excited. Potentially, we're looking to raise $2 million for our first round. I'm talking to investors right now. I'm having conversations, and we just want to get this MVP done so we can get ahead of all this. That's very different. That's a very different explanation than, hey, I'm frustrated. Come help me build my startup.
And so the arguments that I make now, because now I know how to do it from an evidence-based perspective, is we have to ensure that Black and Brown founders are introduced to these strategies as a part of their startup process, because it helps to set the vision. So it becomes like this vision casting exercise, because everything that I do in the startup process, in the day-to-day operations of the business, if I'm going to create a dynasty, if I'm going to ensure that my grandchildren's grandchildren are provided for and are not starting from scratch the way that I did, then I have to be driven by those kinds of decisions in how the business functions.
Okay, Sabrina, are you able to hear us now? If you can go off mute for a second and see if your microphone is working.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Well, go ahead and get your time starting. One moment, please. And 3, 2, and 1. Your time starts now.
So you can hear me okay, Lloyd?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead and get started.
Okay, I have no idea. Are you able to hear? I don't know if you guys are able to hear me. But I'm going to keep talking. Okay, so AI is supposed to fix everything. Hello?
We can hear you. Go ahead and get started.
Okay, thanks. So, but for small business owners, we're still waiting 30 days to get a report. And for small business owner, I have a junk removal company. And there was a point when we was making almost $100,000 every single month. And we didn't know if we was profitable, because we was waiting weeks after the month end in order to see what our if we lost money. Revenue was up, but we didn't know what was going on. And that affects not just us, but millions of business owners all throughout the company, all throughout the country. And what's the problem? Well, traditional accounting software systems and the way that things are set up currently is that you make the money, you pay your expenses, and then you find out weeks later if you was profitable, what your margins are. Or you just don't do anything because you're overwhelmed, or you utilize spreadsheets that are complex. So what's our solution? Well, traditionally what you do, you make your sale, you pay your expenses, and then you find out. Well, with P.I.E, what we do is we set some goals first, so you know exactly where you need to be and where you want to go, and then we track it in real time. And with our AI assistant, you're able to know immediately, day by day, in just 10 minutes, if you're on track to reach your budget goal and your profit margins. So I spent over 10 years in enterprise software, helping customers budget millions of dollars in their revenue. And so I understand the importance. And then for the last 7 years, we have run our small junk removal company here in Pensacola. So I've seen both sides, so I understand the pain points. So the way we make money is that P.I.E is a direct model, direct to customers. Our pricing plan starts at $15 and it grows as the business grows. We also have an affiliate plan where financial professionals can earn commission by referring their clients to P.I.E. So some of our key milestones is that we are on track to be what we would. I'm just so confused. Some of the key metrics is having $5 million annual recurring revenue over the next 3 years. And we plan to get that by reaching out to clients through podcasts, webinars, ads, and social media, some local marketing. So currently P.I.E is active. I've been working on this for almost 2 years. So we just launched our first iteration of the web app in June. We have 8 paid users. that was in our beta testing. And so by the end of the year, we're looking to have 100 users on the platform and 5,000 by end of year 3. So again, I'm Sabrina. I worked for 10 years, over 10 years in software. And this is my junk removal company. We've had over 6 years. We've generated millions of dollars in revenue. I do have a staff developer, and also we have financial professionals that's consultants to make sure that we're providing the correct information that we need to our clients through the P.I.E platform.
Wonderful job, Sabrina. We're
So
going to
go
ahead and bring our judges up now. All right, judges. I know it's a lot. All righty. All right, Ira.
There we go. All right,
Hello.
Sabrina, thank you for your presentation and your patience. Go ahead, give us some idea about the ask.
So the ask is I'm looking for strategic mentors and partners. I would like to have a technical co-founder, someone definitely well-versed in AI, because we do realize that, I do believe that as we onboard more and more users, that we want our AI assistant to become smarter and therefore can provide more in-depth action items and insights to our clients that's on the system. And then $500,000 to help build out the full version of the platform, some more integrations and automations. Right now we have integrated with QuickBooks, but we do think that there are some other opportunities out there so that we can easily receive revenue information, transactional information from these businesses to really make the system more automatic.
Okay. One other question from me. I think I heard you say that you had some of your beta testers, they have become clients. Can you hear me?
Yeah, so I initially had this idea over 2 years ago, and I started working with a group of small business owners who was making money. We can't make payroll, this, that, or whatever, but we're, making money every single day. And so once we launched the first version, which was just last month, the 8 of those users have already signed up. 3 of them are on our $49 plan. 3 of them are on our $129 plan. And then we have 2 of them that's on our $15 plan.
All right, so tell me this, what's the difference when you talk about the different plans? What more are they getting for those different plans?
Yeah, so the first tier is just kind of transactions, your information. You can look and see, enter your budgets, enter your revenue, enter your expenses, utilize the AI to see if you're if you're on track. The other, we start to add things like forecasting, some tax planning. You can get bookkeeping assistance because we do have a network of bookkeepers around the country, because as business scale, there is a need for a bookkeeper. There is a need for more robust kind of financial management, which we realize. And you get more transactions. You get the ability to add more users to your account, additional businesses, or perhaps other streams of revenue that you have company. And then we have the cleaning business. So we can keep those things segregated. As you scale up, you can keep those kind of streams segregated in there, so you can track to see which income source is profitable and which one isn't.
Okay. Well, thank you, Sabrina.
And then we are able to customize plans as well, but we don't have anyone on a custom plan yet.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Hi, Sabrina. Thanks for the presentation. I'm just going to kind of piggyback on some of Ira's comments.
Hello.
So clearly, by the way, there is a problem. I know, Ira's a banker, and sometimes those of us who've been in the industry, we kind of think that everybody understands, the financial system.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt there's a problem. What I'm trying to understand, though, is, all right, so if I'm paying $99 for QuickBooks, Now I'm paying you monthly $129, and I've got to pay my bookkeeper, maybe $400 or $500 a month, or whatever that is. I'm just trying to. It's unclear for me the value add, right? Because
sure. So one of the first things. So a lot of business owners that we reached out to weren't doing anything. They're not using QuickBooks. QuickBooks, you have to have 67% market share, but you still have these 33% of businesses out there that's not using. We were almost $1 million a year company, and we weren't using anything because it was confusing setting up QuickBooks. I had it, and I was so confused on how to set it up. I even went in trying to manage it. The problem was not necessarily that QuickBooks is there. It's the way that the system is. And so you're just entering your numbers. You're just entering.
Thank you so much, Sabrina. You're doing such a great job. Caleb, you did such a great job.
Really nothing
but we're going to have to go ahead and cut you off here. So thank you, judges, and everyone for your deliberation. You're not the only one. So I appreciate you all the founders. Give them a round of applause for all their hard work today. Some really eloquent speaking. I'm so impressed to see what everyone has been working on. I'm going to now invite the judges to go for their deliberation. Lloyd Senior, do you have any feedback about our artists, or our founders, excuse me?
I was just going to make sure we got the judges back to click the deliberation room link, and I'll meet them back there. So who's still here? So Caleb, and head on back, click that deliberation room link. Randy, same thing. So it's the whereby link. So go ahead and click that, and I'll see you all. Adrian, you can go ahead and click the link as well. Ready? Okay, so I'll let you have it, Lloyd Jr. But I think from the founders, standpoint, it's like real important that you can see all the things can go wrong with the technical difficulties, and so always, look at. So Caleb and Randy, I'll be over there in a second. So just go on the other link. Yeah. Alrighty, but I just want to make sure everybody understands that you can't take nothing for granted when you're pitching. You have to be prepared. And I think too, if you have two screens, computer screens, you can see and share that screen. You can see, but when you settle for one screen, you have to switch between tabs in order to do it. So you're cheating yourself if you don't set up properly to pitch. Because Joseph didn't see his slide turning, and that was the reason. Alrighty, so I'll see you all over there. Bye bye.
Alrighty, thank you, Dad. So in the meantime, I'm going to invite our founders to come up, and we're going to have a quick little debrief to talk about our experience. So thank you all again. It's such a wonderful job. Welcome, Joseph, Lenicha, Marquita, and Sabrina. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Bravi tutti. Great job, great job. So I know it's a lot to come in and to pitch for 3 minutes. It's never enough time. So I'm just going to say that when I cut you off only with love and light. And I just want to commend all of you. I will say, out of all these that I have done, you all were very, very well spoken. And so I felt like we could hear clearly what you were talking about, all of your presentations. So I just want to get a feedback from you all. How do you feel? You can just come off of mute when you like to speak and just let us know how you're feeling now having pitched.
I'm gonna need Sister Lenicha's stress app right now.
Right. Oh, y'all get a free subscription.
Yeah. I'm gonna need to go to Sister Marquita's party events. One of the events.
No, honestly.
And have some fun. That's what I'm after the slides didn't go. That's what I'm I need to go to the party event. Yeah, and hopefully put some money from Sister. I need Sister Sabrina's app to keep my money right.
Oh yeah. That's what I was thinking. I think that everybody had a very good creative feel, and it's very necessary. But I mean, maybe I do have some competition that I didn't know about. But I think it was a great opportunity for me to even be on something like this, because I always watch like elevator pitch and Shark Tank and stuff like that. So it gave me a feel of it. And this is my first time ever pitching. So to win something, so it's very different. And I am very thankful for the opportunity.
No, absolutely. I think all of you all did a wonderful job. And even being Marquita, that is your first time pitching and doing this, you just doing it gives you the kind of fervor to see like, okay, what do I need to work on next time? Now, what I want to kind of chop in through and add. And I noticed that one of the biggest things that was asked almost by every judge for all of you all was about what is your ask? What is your ask? You notice that was the number one thing that they kept asking about. So finding that space to say that, how do you all feel about where you put that inside your presentation? And do you feel like the story overshadowed that? What do you think took so long to get to the ask?
Well, in our business model that was set up, the ask is the last slide. That's how it's. That's how we're supposed to go off of it. And I didn't even know 3 minutes passed by so fast. So I think I might took too long on my background story and didn't get to all of the rest of the slides. So I feel like that was my problem.
Yeah, no, great insight. Anyone else? Lenicha.
Yeah, I think the three, like everyone's saying, 3 minutes is tight. Like you got it, and then you don't got it, and then you got it, and then you don't got it. But with the ask being at the end, I think it does make sense because it does give the investors time to ask that, and it makes you feel like, okay, they are interested. I mean, it makes you feel a little bit better.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Another thing is, I would really love to know, for those of you who are doing this for the first time with the Florida Black Founders Program, how has the Cohort 5 been? How has this journey these past 4 or 5 weeks been, and diving into the lean canvas, the traction roadmap, these kind of things? What has been your experience?
Well, if I can speak, I didn't actually get the whole 30 days. So.
Oh, wow. You're like, I jumped in halfway through and I just got in here.
So your dad actually met me over at the collab. I was doing the pitch, just pitching it out, not for any winners or anything. And he just invited me here. So he was like, I think you should do this. It's going to be a great opportunity. And he said, some things I didn't know was available, which I didn't. So I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and give it a try. And I got it done in about 3 weeks. And so it was very pressuring. And at a point I was just like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do it. So to be here and do it, it's a complete thing that I know I needed because I want to keep growing my business and excelling. So it was just a lot of pressure on me, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Joseph?
Well, it's kind of been a blessing. It's it got me a little bit more organized, and then you could make the projections, and to what the gentleman said, I do need to get my customer base and broken down, and it took me a minute to get the lean canvas. So I need to have a customer base for each and define it for each lean canvas, and I kind of put them in a group, but they're different, and so that's something again. I didn't start from the beginning, but that's something that I need to work on. So, and it's also got me organized a lot better for my presentation. I put one together a little while ago, but it took me to another level of presenting with the slides, and it put me in some type of structure which I needed, and I'm very grateful for. It's been a blessing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Lenicha?
No, it was definitely educational. It was a good way of, and like Joe was saying, it was a way to get organized and a way to get everything in order. It was kind of funny. My sister and I started out with a totally different idea about dogs and ended up here because of going through like the desirability and the viability and everything. So,
Yeah.
And then it ended here, which was, I think, a better choice possibly. So.
Yeah, no, and I think one of the things that people always find, we try to sum it down these 30 days in the fact that you're trying to pitch how your business works, how your business makes money. That's what you're going for in this first pitch. And then in the 90-day, that's when you give what we call like a mafia offer. And what that means is an offer you cannot refuse. So that's when you really go in and say, this is what is going to really be a game changer. And we usually expect by the end of a 90-day accelerator that you have you're working towards a minimal viable product, so that way you can really get out there and test it and sell it with your first phase of customers if you're not already making revenue. So I think that's really exciting to see you all finding that this process of the lean canvas model is really helping really be clear about how you should present that. Because 3 minutes is all you really need to get through those things. Now, I will say, first, I want to commend you, Joseph, because even though your slides weren't working, you spoke so eloquently. We were not even concerned about your slides. I, as a matter of fact, didn't even know your slides weren't working till like a minute. You almost had a minute left, and I was like, oh, crap, his slides aren't working. But I was just listening to you speak, and so I was following along with how you were working. So I just want to commend you on that. I know you were a little like, oh, I failed, but that's not how we perceived it on the outside. We thought you were really speaking very well.
Oh, yeah, the slides failed. Yeah, it's all right. I'll live. Yeah, I couldn't believe it because we had tested it before.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm looking here. So it's two screens. So I got two screens, like your dad said. But
yeah.
Who knows? Who knows what happened? Too much.
Yeah. No. I just wanted to really commend you.
Well, thank you.
Yes, and Lenicha, I will tell you, my mother and I have just had to host a family member for 3 months in caregiving mode. As soon as you started talking, I was glued in the whole time listening to you speak, because it's like you said, it's something that's so needed. And I love that you have a team. Can you speak a little bit about how far you are with your particular startup and your team? Because it sounded like you had several people already working with you.
Yeah. Well, yes, and yes. Not far at all, honestly. It's one of those things, like it's talking and gathering everybody right now, and so yeah, I do have the team is.
So 2 slides were open.
Oops. And then she has that data engineer background and IT. I like that my nephew Honor was able to come and let us know like what was the issue, and then they got excited and they're like, oh yeah, I know someone, my professor, and yada yada. So there's been like just this, it kind of caught on, and talking to different people, it's kind of like, yeah, I'm interested, let me know what happens, let me know what's going to go on. So
yeah, so the demand is there. The demand is there. And I think that's what you're going to find is that the moment you start talking, people are going to be clued in, because they at least are like 1 or 2 people away from knowing somebody who is in the direct caregiving role. So I think I think
everybody knows somebody.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, Sabrina is not a stranger to startups on the blocks. And so I wanted to see if Sabrina, now having gone through a cohort before, how do you feel about what your experience was, without all the technical stuff, your experience pitching this time, and what do you feel like you've improved on?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you. think there might be a slight bit of a delay on her thing. But once you're back with us, Sabrina, we definitely want to hear how you share, because you have a lot of insight that I think everyone could definitely benefit from. Also, I felt like Sabrina also went and spoke very eloquently to the end. Like, I was like, oh, wow, she's done. And she really got it right on that 3-minute mark after she started. I was like, wow, that's impressive for having the technical issues, so I can understand that. And I felt like also like each, like I said, with Marquita and all of you, that each of you all spoke so eloquently. I am an opera singer by trade, so I notice when people are speaking clearly. That is something that really kind of stands out to me. And so the fact that you all were so eloquent is a testament to when you put together your stories and your presentations, that it is effective. And how you're presenting it is effective. So I just want to commend you all on that. So how many of you are interested in possibly doing a 90-day accelerator now that you've gone through this 30-day?
Yeah, I would like to too. As long as I get a head start, I want to hop in again at the end. But as long as I get in, it sounds interesting. I know you guys said something else starting in September. What is that?
Yeah, the 90-day accelerator for this session starts in September, and it'll go to the end of the year. So that's why we say, like, we want to make sure that you all get an opportunity to really speak. I want to give you all some parting words of encouragement to other founders who might want to be in your position. Give us 1 or 2 sentences of encouragement that you would like to pass on to those following in your footsteps. Marquita, you can go since you're starting.
Right. I would say keep the faith. Keep pushing, because, I never thought I'd be right here where I'm at. And, it's a huge achievement. And take that first step. Whatever you do, don't do it. Do it. Don't not do it. Do it. Put your actions behind your words.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Lenicha?
Yeah, almost something similar to Marquita. If at first you don't succeed, that first idea might not work. Just keep trying and trying, and really think about it. Just really think about it.
No, I love that. Joseph?
Yeah, keep the faith. Adam Clayton Powell said, "Keep the faith, baby. You just got to hang in there and trust the system. Trust the system. It works. It definitely works."
Awesome. And Sabrina, if you can get in there, you can type it in the chat as well if you're having some issues there. Definitely leave us with some words of encouragement. With that being said, I'm going to let Sabrina put some stuff in the chat there. She says, don't give up. Sabrina Simpson says, don't give up, you guys. So with that being said, I'm going to allow our founders to take a seat a little bit, and then we'll invite our judges to come up and discuss about the deliberation.
Yeah. So what we're going to do here is kind of go through each person in order that they pitch and give them some feedback, and so listen up all the founders so you can kind of get the constructive feedback. It's all constructive, and just the judges are trying to give you some guidance that can help you take the next step and go forward. And we'll be working with you all to with the feedback from the judges and to help you kind of move forward and get you all ready for the 90-day cohort that's actually coming up in September. And if you all want to go back through the program again, just to kind of make sure you learn all the stuff on how to stress test your idea, feel free to come back in our cohort 6 as well, and just kind of keep up to speed with what you're doing. All righty. So the judges, did you all have fun deliberating? Yes, I'm assuming you did. Okay, so first we want to give who was first that came up there. That was
it was Marquita.
Marquita, yeah. So let's give Marquita some feedback.
Yeah, the only feedback, Lloyd, I have for Marquita is really know your competitors well, know what other alternatives, and even if they don't seem like a competitor, everybody's a competitor. That any software, any app that can book somebody, whether it's only a cook or it's everybody you need for an event. And even apps like Eventbrite, who have sub apps that support off of them. Take a look at that. I think there's something there for you. I just figure out what the problem that you're solving and get some traction built with that, or even a dry test. Get some people trying it out is a key factor for you in that market. And your slogan's interesting about not chasing. I'd love to see you actually prove that out that it works. Even if it's with a dry test, and then you can try to get some customers after that.
Yes, so Randy, they may not understand what a dry test is.
Yeah, so dry test is where you actually do everything but charge for your product. So you basically do what your product's going to do without actually having people even do it in the app. They might do it outside the app. And you show that the steps they're going to go through in the app, they can go through offline, and then you can put it right into an app and automate the process. Because that's what an app does. It will automate something that you've already proven to solve a problem.
Yeah, that's a great explanation. Sounds similar to a concierge MVP. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep, very similar. And there is, by the way, I've had very small splashing in that industry, and I agree there is trouble finding all the pieces to an event. And getting people to show up for those events and the appropriate things. So anyway, that's my encouragement to you. And like Sabrina said, never give up, because every business goes through multiple pivots before they have success. So just know whatever you think you might have as a company now might look in a year or two completely different. I saw Adrian shaking his head. He knows this. He's seen this happen.
So Adrian had a comment about the cost to get somebody to download an app. So Adrian, you want to elaborate on that a little bit more?
Yeah, sure. It's expensive, right? And I think when you are looking at app versus web, you got to look at the frequency of use, right? Mobile apps are things that we use every day. Your instance is, I might be looking at it once every 2 weeks or when I have an event. That's the first thing. The second thing is you want to track the user journey. The user journey is we all go to Google or now GPT and we say, find me a photo booth near me, right? And so from there, now imagine that user clicking your company link, and now it says download an app to go find somebody. They're going to go no. They're going to go back to Google and look, right? I'm not saying don't have the app, but signing up on the web is a soft ramp to get them on the platform first. And then when you hit them with that welcome email, it's like, oh, by the way, did you know we have an app for easy access, right? So if you're building, depending on the platform you're building on, whether it's React or Flutter, there are frameworks that you can use to then ship it to the web as well. But I would highly recommend that you host on the web too.
Okay.
All right.
Good. Anything else for Marquita?
Yeah, just one other comment having to do as you look down the road. We discussed in the panel. We'd like you to consider, as you're kind of thinking about your company name, a year, 2 years, 3 years down the road, assuming you've got many hundreds of customers, thousands, the name that your company has, is that something that is that is easily remembered? And I forget exactly how Adrian described it, but you know how you Google something, or you it almost becomes part of what we do. And so just as you're thinking about, we understand why you put the name together, but just kind of think about it from a futuristic perspective as people trying to use that name and recognizing your company.
Okay. Thank you.
Alrighty. Okay, next, I guess we'll get Joseph up here and give him some feedback.
Hello.
Joseph, I will start. I think we all agree that there's clearly a niche opportunity. I shared the example about my friend in the egg business. One of the things that we would like you to consider is really, I think you mentioned your rollout plan. You would start with 3 different states, right? And so we would like you to consider, or the guidance really is, instead of really trying to boil the ocean, try and find a niche space. We're convinced that you know this business extremely well, right? And so do you want to start with 3 states, or is there an opportunity within a county, within a city, where you may be able to get a foothold and you build on that success?
Yes, sir. And again, maybe might explain.
Let Joseph, go ahead and let everybody give the feedback.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to build on what Caleb said. I kind of agree with that. Find that niche, maybe only in a single state, and find somebody of what I call a friendly. Right, we were talking about this the last founder, and do a dry test with the data. Take your AI, pull your data for a niche industry with a friendly, somebody you know has waste, and ask them what they would do if you could show them XYZ data. What would that mean to them? What would the value be to them?
Yes,
and
sir.
start with that, because I agree. It sounds like you know your industry. It does sound like you are trying to boil the ocean, and I just pick off one piece.
Yeah.
Niche that, and then you can add. It's easy to add niches. It's harder to try to boil the ocean.
Yes,
So
sir.
get a place to start with, and I would just start with people you know. It sounds like you know a lot of people in the industry, and I bet there's some out there in a certain niche that you could get some traction with right away. And it'd be easier to raise money after that as well, because then you'll actually show a model that works in a certain niche.
Thank you, sir.
I got one thing. We didn't discuss this, but this just came to mind. Joseph, how much does it cost one of these farmers to not use your product? It sounds like it's a lot of money, right?
It can be a lot of money. Here's the challenge is that people are always using the data already, because it's data that from USDA government reports. They're using it. This is an agency that's been around since 1915. The challenge is it's difficult to read, it's difficult to access, and it doesn't work. And it doesn't work together.
That's what I wanted to understand. So I think you're charging way too little, right? I think you mentioned $25 or so a month. Like,
one is 10, 25, and 100.
I think you need to be when you go to a website and it says contact sales, I think that's where you need to start, right? Initially, don't have your pricing up there. Have these conversations and keep testing the pricing, because I think if I have a farm and I'm looking at $10,000 worth of produce a month going to waste, and you say, hey man, I've got this portal thing and it's got AI and it can tell you how to do your logistics and stuff, and you can save 80% of that.
Yep.
Man, I want $2,000 a month, easy, right? So I think $25 is selling it way too low. I would say hold off on solidifying your pricing first, and every conversation you have, double the price until somebody says no, and then that's your pricing.
Thank you, sir.
All righty.
Anybody else? Okay, next we have Lenicha. Okay, judges.
Hi, Lenicha. Thank you for your pitch, by the way. What I didn't say is definitely after my heart. I have a father who's 90 plus, still alive, and a mother who's 88, and I actually caregive for them right now. With my sister. This is why I understand the industry pretty well. And we bring in part-time caretaking, which has been a challenge. I myself have been burnt out. I just went through a 2-week stint with my dad, so I understand the burnout. Didn't think it happened to me, and it did in 2 weeks. So I think the advice that we were giving you, and Adrian brought this up first, I think it's great advice, is I would look at B2B. I would, just in my opinion, abandon the B2C model. I don't think it's enough money in it to start out with. I would go after maybe not the social workers as much because, again, tight model. I'd go after the national chains and franchise. It's literally multi-billion-dollar industry. So I'll just name a couple of companies. Brookdale and Atra own the assisted skilled nursing facilities. They're huge. They're expensive to get into. That's the top end. And then you get into the franchises. There's probably, well, there's at least 20 that I'm aware of. And I've talked to probably 15 of them in the last year and a half. So what I'm trying to say is I'd be happy to give you some of my advice from my point of view offline. If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, feel free. And happy to have a conversation. There's no cost to you, just me giving back to you, to give back to the community, to do right by my parents. I'd love to give you some advice on that. We could talk about further things down the line, but love to do that right off the bat. Anyway, that's my feedback, is go to B2B, find a pilot, and you might even get one of these companies to partially pay for your ask, and then they're going to want part of the product. And I say that because the other company I was helping, that's exactly what they did. They got one of these national franchises to help pay for the product.
Awesome. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I definitely will be in contact.
Yeah, I think my feedback was just, I'd love to see the design if you guys have something yet. And again, please feel free to connect on LinkedIn. I think your product is incomplete, right? It works very well until, at least the concept of it, until somebody realizes that they're burning out. On the other side of that, I think you should really consider building out a two-sided marketplace where you connect people to service providers that can help them, right? And you're nodding. It sounds like you've been thinking about that, which is great. And once you have that, then you're moving into the territory of like a BetterHelp, and that's a huge organization. That's a huge company that's done very well. And when I think about how you position yourself, you're saying we're BetterHelp, but we're vertical, right? We're fully vertical for caregivers. We specialize in this field, right? All the service providers that we have, and you can build a moat around that, right? So I would say, love to see the design, and then consider the two-sided marketplace. You don't have to have it built out just quite yet, but I would definitely include that into your product strategy.
And to add what Adrian said, by the way, that also gives you an exit plan, because that BetterHelp may become an exit strategy down the road when they see what you've carved out, because they're trying to help everybody from a different direct-to-consumer angle. Although they do have a B2B division, just so you know, they sell B2B applications as well.
Yep. Thank you.
Anybody else? We'll move on to Sabrina then.
Hello.
Okay, judges.
So I think, Sabrina, when we wrapped up, you were explaining to me the value add. And you mentioned that you were involved with a company that was doing 7 figures plus, but that company still didn't really understand their financials. And there was some apprehension or a lack of understanding for tools such as QuickBooks. Could you just kind of pick up on there from there and just kind of help us to understand? Because as I said, there's clearly a need, right? The demand is there. I'm just trying to better understand what that value add is and how you're different from the existing solutions such as a QuickBooks.
Sure. And that company that I was referring to was my personal company. We had a junk removal company, and in our 3rd year, we did $850,000 in business. And I didn't understand anything in our business. Anything about numbers. I was confused by QuickBooks, and it got so far down the line that I just really became ashamed with asking for help. Like there's, like everybody sees me as a successful business person, but I was drowning in ignorance, really. And so when I say the uniqueness of what we do, and it goes back to my experience when I worked in software, is that we would meet. I was a team lead, did a lot of data analytics for the client. We would meet every single week with this client who had 60,000 apartment units up and down the East Coast. And we would go through their budget to make sure that they were on track week by week and that they wasn't blowing their ancillary costs week by week. And in order to make sure that they was hitting that profit margin that they needed at the end of the day. So when I started looking at this, how things are set up for small businesses and what I was learning, it's like we're taught to get a QuickBooks account and set up your categories and things like that and your transactions and so on and so forth. But it's not really telling you and tracking you and letting you know, like, what is your annual revenue goal? What is your expense budget? It's not really telling you and tracking that on a real-time basis so that like if you're blowing payroll, if you're blowing fuel costs, if you're blowing, if you have subscriptions out there. There's a lot of personal finance apps that do that, but I just don't see that in the market when it comes to small businesses. Sorry.
Let me ask you. So you mentioned having like a pilot group. What kind of feedback did you get from those pilot users that basically did it validate the value add that your company your app is providing?
So it started out with just a simple question, was like, can we save a nickel out of every dollar we make without affecting our cash flow? And so we would meet every single day and we say, okay, how much did we make? And pull out 5%. And how did that affect our cash flow? And what we quickly learned is that we were undercharging a lot of times because taking out a nickel for profit or whatever was affecting us. And so we realized, like, yes, we're making a ton of money, but when you put it up against what your expenses are and you're not tracking that, then a lot of times we're pricing ourselves in the red from the beginning. So with that group, because it was almost 2 years, there was a time period that I stopped doing it because I went through some other things. And then just recently in February, I picked it back up and I went back at it. And so in that time, I lost some of my beta testers. They went on to other things, or they're out of business. And so the people that are with us now, what they see is that they're able to just go into a system. It's not QuickBooks, and we're not necessarily competing with the QuickBooks. I look at it as a way that we're carving out a gap that QuickBooks doesn't offer, especially when it comes to tracking real-time data for these particular business owners. Yeah. So what they're getting out of it is that they can see things easily. They can go into their system, enter their revenue, enter their transactions. They can get the support they need if they need a bookkeeper, because that 129 includes a bookkeeper to reconcile for them every single month and present them with their, P&Ls.
Just my last question.
Sorry.
No. Sorry. I'm just trying to. I'm asking these questions because I want to understand how you got to the 129. And so, were you able to quantify the value add? So, in other words, did you ask the question, how much would you be willing to pay on a monthly basis in order to have the benefits of this service? Did you go through that type of analysis to derive at your pricing model?
Yeah. So yes, we did. We asked them. So they was looking at around $100 a month in order to start to have something, since they weren't doing anything. So $100 a month was kind of like that sweet spot. And then also in talking to bookkeepers and things like that, based on the segment of business owners that we were working with and the type of revenue that they was bringing in, $100 a month seemed fair. So we leveraged that by saying, okay, well, because we have these consultants that's part of our company or whatever, and willing to provide some kind of tax plan. It was like, okay, well, we can offer that in order to increase, go a little bit over the $100 because they feel like they're getting a little bit more value. It's not just a bookkeeper month, but now you get a tax strategist to meet once a year. You get more transactions. You get the ability to kind of segregate. So we try to offer them a little bit more in order to justify paying a little bit more than $100 a month.
I got it. So I don't want to just complete, and Adrian wants to come in. But we can kind of take it offline. I suspect that there may be more value to what you're bringing than 129, but it just has to be quantified, and it's not clear for me that happened. But I think there could be more opportunity. Go ahead, Adrian. You're on mute.
Sabrina, I love the fact that you shipped, right? You've got users, like that's amazing. Talk to me about the product interface, right? From what I can picture in my mind right now, I'm seeing you log in, you connect your data sources, right? And this AI tool sits on top of that, and you can query that using natural language. Is that correct?
So the iteration that we have now, we built it on Bubble. And it is, so right now, you can connect your QuickBooks, but you have to go in and click it to upload it into it. It's not any type of automatic feed or anything like that in this version of the app. Because again, most of the business owners that we initially are working with aren't doing anything. They're not using a QuickBooks right now. So the next phase is something where we do want to have those integrations and all those automations. As far as the AI, so what the AI does is allow the business owner. So say, for instance, they get an alert says your revenue is, your expenses are for marketing is exceeding your budget. Then they can go into that AI, which is just a chat GPT, is connected there, and type in, hey, what can I do in order to offset my marketing costs? And it's like that kind of financial coach right there. And because it is able to look at their numbers, is able to provide them more customized information and feedback on what they can do. The next version we're looking to do is perhaps setting up some benchmark for companies that may be just starting out, so they don't really have like historical data, in order to help them, like what is a realistic budget for insurance, marketing, things like that. And then also, what's a realistic revenue goal based on, sorry.
So what I'm seeing here, right, is I think you need to spend maybe like a small workshop and go back to the start, because there's a fork in the road where you're saying for people that are not on QuickBooks, and then you're saying we're going to have QuickBooks and other integrations, right? Those are two different ICPs, right? And your pitch to each one of those is different, right? If your go-to-market is, hey, you make money, but you don't have QuickBooks, your account is a mess, plug into our system and our AI is going to help you, right? That's one ICP. The next ICP is, hey, you've got QuickBooks, but here's what QuickBooks doesn't do for you, right? All these other additional AI features. And those are two different paths, right? Those are almost two different products, because the onboarding is different. For the person that doesn't have QuickBooks, they've been using calculator, a piece of paper, and some Google Sheet, their onboarding is very different, and their product experience is going to be very different. Now, I'm not saying don't serve both, but I would carve out and put that on a roadmap. So, okay, first we're going after the guys that have nothing, right? Because your best competitor is a piece of pen and a paper, right? Right. Attack that market first if it's large enough, and then go after the folks that have their established accounting systems already, because they're going to come with a lot of feature requests. I can guarantee you that, right? QuickBooks does a lot. They're going to have a lot of feature requests, and that load might be heavy on your team in the very early days, right? So consider those two ICPs, right? Go after the low-hanging fruit first, capture that market. And I do believe this is a problem. A good friend of mine, she was a CPA or a CFA, and she was working with an e-commerce entrepreneur who made millions, but didn't even know how much money he made, right? His books were just a mess. He didn't have anything. He just sold, his business was good, and she came in and cleaned it up. So I believe you do have a market, but I would just caution you to make sure you're going after the right ICP first. Okay.
Thank you so much.
No problem. And feel free to connect on LinkedIn. I'm happy to jump in and take a look and support you however.
I appreciate that.
No problem.
All righty, fantastic. We really appreciate that feedback, judges, and so next we'll announce our top three. We'll start with the third place person, which is Joseph Harrison. So congratulations, Joe. Let's give him a big hand.
Praise the Lord. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. I've been in tears. Thank you very much. I've been praying all afternoon. Thank you, Lloyd. Thank you for opportunity, and thank you, good brothers, for thinking I got to third place. Thank you. The tough competition, and congratulations to the other ladies who won.
All righty. Okay, so we appreciate that, Joe. And then let's see, second place is Sabrina Simpson with P.I.E.
Oh, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. We overcame the technical difficulties. I really appreciate it. Thank you. This is amazing. And thank you so much, Mr. Lloyd, for all of your help and mentorship.
Well, so you see about those technical difficulties, you got to make sure you got that good internet connection. That's the main thing.
Yeah, Cox will begin a call tomorrow.
Hey, Sabrina, I'll leave you with one thought. You know who Scott Cook is?
I don't know if
He founded Intuit.
Oh, okay.
And my business partner was the head marketing person for TurboTax before Intuit bought them. They were ChipSoft here in San Diego, where I live. And Scott stood up in front of his team and said, "Here's who our competitor is." And you know what he was holding? Adrian should know this one, a number 2 pencil. That's who you're going after. I think Adrian nailed it when he said that's the ICP you go after. You're going after the pencil.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Thank you so much.
All righty. And our first place winner is Lenicha Bell with Compassion Compass.
Go, Lenicha.
Congratulations. You're muted, Lenicha.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, Lenicha, Randy shared his story about caring for his dad. I was in Baltimore last week. I have a sister who's dealing with dementia and Alzheimer's and so forth. Me and one of my sisters went the weekend. I was exhausted after a day. Okay, so we get it. It's a problem, and if you can help to solve it, God bless you, and however we can help.
Thank you. Yeah, so need it. Yes, everybody knows somebody. If it's not even you, so.
Yeah.
So I think Lenicha is a perfect example how actually, following the course guidelines and really working hard. She kind of did a little overkill, but she'll get that. But I definitely take the feedback, and judges, I really appreciate you all taking the time, and I'm glad we had time so you could actually give the founders some constructive feedback, and so we can actually help them with that feedback you all gave them to help them kind of move forward.
Yeah.
All right, look forward to talking to you some more, Lenicha, down the line.
Yes. All righty. So I guess won't hold you up any longer. Junior, did you have something you want to share?
I'm just so proud of all of you all. Congratulations. It's such a pleasure to see you all at this part. Judges, we did have a conversation about who wants to join the 90 days. So I expect to see a few of these faces here in September to join that accelerator. But the last thing I do want to say is notice how you putting yourself through the fire to do these pitches now you also put yourself in a networking spot. So many of the judges are willing to connect with you and to make your startup be a success. So I just hope that this is just only the beginning for all of you. Whether you're getting granted a cash prize, or this is the first time or not. Everything that we do in this moment is to help you grow and to see you to fruition. So thank you all again, and thank you, judges. This is such insightful feedback. I think you all hit the nail on the head and on so many things that you were saying, and we appreciate your help.
Yeah, and I want to congratulate Marquita in coming in. Like a little late into the cohort and working real hard to kind of pull things together. And I think she definitely will benefit from you all's feedback. And so that's great. Thanks again, everyone. We'll see you all back in September for our next September 11th demo day. And so we'll be rocking and rolling. Hopefully we'll have a few more founders to pitch. Thank you all so much. We really appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Have a good one. See everybody.
Good night.
All right. Bye, guys.
Yes, good night.
Good night.